Welcome flappers back to another video. Today we will be delving into the nitty-gritty details of Fischl, her skills, constellations, weapons, artifacts, and team builds. As this video contains a lot of information and is quite long, I will provide timestamps on the screen and in the description below so you may easily navigate to the information you need. I will be updating all my guide videos with updates for team comp and weapon builds as new units comes out, and I will have links to them either in the description or comment section. So kick back, relax, and let's get started. Fischl is a 4-star unit electro bow user, which is great news to all free-to-play players as she is not a limited character. Whether you just started and got her in your starting role, or a veteran who is expanding on their roster, Fischl can easily fit any team. Being electro, Fischl has powerful elemental reactions which are overload with pyro, superconduct with cryo, and electro charged with hydro. All these interactions in turn increases DPS, which makes Fischl an amazing DPS carry or DPS support. Looking at her skills, we can see Fischl's bread and butter, also her trusted companion Oz, is the key to her being so potent as a unit. Knight Rider, this skill can be quick pressed or held down, with the difference being when held, you're able to select where Oz is placed on the battlefield. Fischl's ultimate Midnight Phantasmagoria allows her to take on Oz's form and fly through enemies, dealing a one-time electro burst damage. At the end of this skill, Oz will remain on the battlefield. So with Fischl's elemental burst and her elemental skill, it is possible to have nearly full Oz uptime when these skills are used back to back. So it would look like you start with her elemental skill to summon Oz. Once that is gone, you use Fischl's ult, and afterwards use her elemental skill again. With this combination, Oz can be on the field for 30 seconds with very little downtime, allowing Fischl to have insane damage output. Now, at any given time when Oz and Fischl are both on the field, you can press her elemental skill again to recall Oz back to Fischl's location. This allows Fischl to move and dodge attacks without worrying the enemies will leave Oz's attack range. This recall has a 1.5 second cooldown. The above has been mentioned with just Constellation 0 in mind, and with that, let's take a look at her constellations. The key here are Constellation 1 and 6, with Constellation 1, which can be interpreted as a flat 22% increase. Also note that these extra hits do not have elemental attributes. Constellation 2 gives her elemental skill an area burst when first summoned and increases its AoE by 50%. Which is a nice boost in utility and burst, but overall not as effective as her Constellation 1, which gives her a flat attack boost. Constellation 3 adds 3 skills to her elemental skill. Constellation 4, it adds an additional 222% electro damage to her burst skill and heals her at the end of it. With this constellation, it's starting to make Fischl more independent and less of a DPS support and more of a main DPS. Constellation 5 increases her ult by 3 levels. Constellation 6, Oz's duration is increased by 2 seconds, increases its damage by 30% of Fischl's attack, as electro damage for any active character on the field. What this does is further Fischl's capability as a support DPS, while her previous constellations has already made her a very effective main DPS. Overall, her constellation does not unlock any game-breaking mechanics, but makes her better at what she already does. So Constellation 0 works perfectly fine, but having Constellation 1 will give her a little more damage, which is nice. All in all, making Fischl an amazing unit to have even if you only have one copy. Moving on to weapons, Fischl has some great options. Whether you want her to be your main DPS and have extended time out on the field, an elemental support to create synergies around her electro element, or utilize her Oz to increase overall team DPS, there is a weapon suited for each. Starting with her main and widely known as her best weapon, the Rust. This weapon gives her a flat increase in normal attack but reduces aim shot attack damage, which does not affect Fischl or any other bow user for that matter. Stringless is a great option for Fischl as a 24% elemental skill damage applies to Oz's normal attacks, increasing overall support DPS. Also, the substat of Elemental Mastery benefits Fischl greatly as she can be used to create many powerful elemental reactions. And finally, you may use the Sacrificial Bow to utilize Oz more over Fischl. You can get close to permanent uptime with Oz using the Sacrificial Bow. If you have the Sacrificial Bow at rank 3 and higher, you start to be able to have permanent uptime for Oz. Although even without rank 3 and higher Sacrificial Bow, if you have Fischl's ultimate properly and cycle through your elemental skill and elemental burst in conjunction with the Sacrificial Bow, Oz can have permanent uptime. So this bow is a great option for those who use Fischl mainly for Oz's support synergy. Onwards to artifacts. 4-piece Thundering Fury would be an amazing set for her to use with the Stringless and Sacrificial Bow. If you do not have either weapon, Favonius Warbow can work as well. although Favonius makes it more so that you use her elemental burst more over Oz, and will also require you to roll for more perfect substats to increase your crit rate higher to utilize the Warbow skill. An alternative physical build would be Rust in combination with 2-set Bloodstained Chivalry and 2-set Gladiator. This build would require you to use Fischl more as the main DPS and have longer field time versus her support build. If you have the Skyward Harp, this would be an amazing set to use it for Fischl if you have a great artifact set that has over 60% crit chance. Or you can use the Compound Bow if you don't have the Harp or Rust. Compound Bow gives not only a flat attack boost, but also an attack speed boost, which is a rare stat to find in the game. The downside is you need Fischl to be engaged in battle for long periods of time to stack up the bow's skill. Finally, moving on to the team build. Starting with what I think is the best free-to-play team for Fischl is Xiangling main DPS, Fischl support DPS with Barbara support and Bennett or Amber for the 25% attack Pyro Resonance. This team can pack a lot of firepower, and if you have Bennett, you can get more burst damage and elemental reaction. Elemental reaction in this team is Overload and Vaporize, which are amazing reactions for your main DPS Xiangling and also Fischl. Since Fischl will be a support DPS, her weapon of choice here should be the Stringless. If you do not have the Stringless, you may substitute with a Sacrificial Bow. Second team would be Razor or Beidou as main DPS, Fischl support DPS, Barbara or Diona as healer, and Xiangling as elemental support. What this team aims to achieve is elemental reactions with a high voltage elemental resonance, which gives electro-elemental particles per superconduct, overload, and electrocharge reaction every 5 seconds. So your main carries Beidou and Fischl can spam out burst skills as often as possible. The weapon of choice here for Fischl is again the Stringless to maximize elemental mastery, second choice being the Favonius Warbow to get your burst skill even faster. This whole build is a fast-paced team with lots of character swaps. It requires a higher skill ceiling to operate and more in-depth game knowledge of when to cause reactions as well as cycle through skill CD. A great free-to-play team which requires practice but has a higher ceiling than the previous mentioned team. Third and final team is a physical DPS team with Fischl being the main DPS. We will utilize the superconduct reaction to boost Fischl's normal attack, so for this team, it will be Fischl main DPS with Xiangling support DPS, Diona as healer and elemental support, finishing with Bennett as the Pyro Resonance, again for the 25% attack. Now, whenever you do not have Bennett, Amber will also do, as we are using a Pyro mainly for the 25% attack buff. Bennett just offers a little more support utility with his burst skill. Weapon for Fischl would be Rust as the first choice, followed by Compound Bow as an alternative. If you have the Skyward Harp, this could be a top choice, which could be better than the Rust. I have not done damage comparisons, but I can say if you have enough crit chance, the Harp may be the best option here. And that concludes the free-to-play Fischl guide. If you found this video useful, please like, share, and subscribe. I plan to release more in-depth videos for other characters and will keep these videos up to date with constant updates with new character releases. I release a video every day, so there's always something to keep you entertained. Most of my viewers are also not subscribed, which kinda sucks since I am a small channel and each bit of support means more to me than you would think. I do have a Discord channel made and a special role reserved for the first 100 members who join. Link for everything mentioned will be in the description. I hope this video has helped you in securing Fischl into your team. You may comment below if you have more specific questions and I will answer it to the best of my abilities. I see it as a mission to answer every single comment. You can check any of my videos. I currently have 100% response time. How many content creators can say that? So please make it a challenge for me and see if I can answer every single comment. And with that, I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Peace.